Good afternoon. It's Heather Doyle Fraser, and I'm here today for our afternoon pick-me-up. I'm going to start again today. Yesterday was our first day, and I started with a little reading from my book, 40 Weeks. I used to do that reading series from my book a couple years ago, and I just like starting with this because it makes me feel good. And I wanted to tell you first a little story about when I wrote this book. So every morning I would get up really early and I would start writing. And I asked myself the question before I started writing, what do I need today? And I would write with that intention. What do I need to hear today for myself? What does that need to be? And what I find now is that every time I open this book or someone talks to me about this book, they tell me the same thing, which is, it's just what I needed. And so I really trust that about this book it just has always been that way for me and for a lot of people. So I opened the book up right before I was about to start, and I opened it to week 10, day 5. There you go. If you don't know about my book, it's separated into 4 sections: a time of opening, a time of allowing, a time of releasing, and a time of embracing. And each is a 10-week section. So this is in a time of opening, week 10, day 5. And this is what it says today. What does the wind have to say to me? Blustery and unyielding, it moves me down the street, not unkindly, but too forcefully for my taste. This frenetic pace leaves me wondering what will happen if I stay in the wind longer. Will I swirl around like the leaves, not going much of anywhere, not seeing which way is here or there, but moving nonetheless? It's exciting and exhilarating, as it almost takes my breath away. But I think I will seek refuge in a slower pace, in the sheltered space between houses, where I can catch my breath and see what lies ahead. So I really was kind of in awe that this one came up today, because I think that's what we're doing right now is we are seeking refuge. We're slowing down, and hopefully that will enable us to see which way we need to go next. And that slower pace, sometimes, even though it might feel strange and it might feel scary, is what we need to do. So I thought that was a really good reading for today, and that's going to help me. So I hope it picks you up a little bit. One of the things that I posted yesterday on my page was I had a friend who's another coach. Her name's Valerie Beal. She posted on her feed these daily questions, these daily quarantine questions. I think she got them from somewhere else too, but I thought they were so great. And so I just wanted to, and I wrote them in my planner because I want to ask myself these questions every day. And so I'm just going to read, and you can look on my page too, but the questions are, who am I checking in on or connecting with today? Okay, that has been super helpful for me to have some people that I just want to check in on and see how they're doing, and it makes me feel good and it makes them feel good, and it also brings some consistency because I do it every day, and I really like doing that. And then I add in different people every single day, and that is really nice. The next question, what expectations of normal am I letting go of today? That one is a little tricky, right? Because we all have these expectations. And I think that's just going to change daily, because everything is different every day. That's what I think, even in this sameness of doing the same thing, sort of, it's not really the same. So just kind of allowing that space for differences and changes, and how you're feeling is, I think, really helpful. How am I getting outside today? I think going outside every day is really, really important, even if you're just going out your back door and sitting outside for a second, or walking around your yard, or going for a little walk. I have a dog, Coco, and so she gets me outside at least twice a day for a walk. And she's looking at me right now like, oh, you said the W word. We've been on a long walk so far, but I think we have another one in a little bit, maybe right after this. Then the next question is, how am I moving my body today? I really like that we have two questions. Like, one is being outside. You don't have to be doing like gigantic things. You can just go outside. And then, how am I moving my body? That moving your body can be anything. Hey, Kendra. Hey, Amy. Hey, Meredith. Hey, Cindy. I see you on here. Thanks for watching. But moving your body, that can be going up and down stairs. That can be walking around your living space. That can be dancing. That can be, so many different things. That could be doing a push-up or two. That could be, I have a friend, Kelly, and she is just a fitness guru, expert, wonderful coach, everything. And I used to do like personal training with her. She moved to Arizona, but I'm pulling out all my Kelly workouts, which, include these straight crawls and these weird, things that have all animal names. I don't know why, scorpion things and alligator and all this other stuff. It's a jungle. But pulling out some of those. So and it couldn't just be like moving your arms. It could be do any kind of movement, but just moving your body a little bit gets the blood flowing and makes you feel a little bit better. How am I expressing my creativity today? And that can be anything. And I think that sometimes people say, in my coaching, when I ask them a similar question, I'm not creative. Everybody is creative. Everybody is, but your creativity could show up in a different way that's not what you think of as creative, like artistic or something like that. So even like my coaching is creative, but anything can be creative if that's how you're intending for it to be. Numbers can even be creative. Working the numbers, all kinds of different things can be creative. What type of self-care am I practicing today? That is a really big one. And I wanted to give an example today of something that maybe doesn't sound like self-care, but for me is self-care. A few. So one, I'm getting up and meditating. That's really helpful to me. I am, doing a gratitude practice. But a couple things that might not sound like self-care, but for me really are self-care. Making coffee in the morning. That sounds so just simple, but to me, I love the smell of coffee. And I went to this Compassionate Mind Summit 2 years in a row. And the first year, this wonderful woman named Marcela Matos, she's in Portugal. She's a amazing psychologist, and she had us using our imagination a little bit, and she asked us to think about something we do every day and going through the motions, like physically, like whatever you're doing, brushing your teeth, or I chose making coffee. So I am putting the coffee grounds in my thing and putting the water in and, imagining this in my mind. And then she said, bring your compassionate self with you when you do that. Like this warm, comforting presence, who just has your back and is, 100% there for you. Bring that compassionate self with you when you do this everyday activity. So then I imagined doing that, and I found myself smiling, and I was really imagining the smell of the coffee and everything else. And so every time now, and that was 2 years ago, every time now that I make coffee, I think of that, and it makes me feel comforted. It makes me feel soothed. And then, of course, I get the coffee, which is also awesome. And so that's an act of self-care every day for myself. And I really just take a few moments to not just breeze through it, but to really kind of smell the coffee. And then when I get the mug, hold it and just feel really good about it. Another thing of self-care that is also just a daily thing, but to me, I've been taking a shower before I go to bed at night. And that is like really, really nice to relax me and just makes me feel good. And that's one thing that I didn't always take showers at night, but I'm liking that. So just, that's another little thing. And I also read right before I go to bed, and I love that. It really is a consistent thing that I've done for years that just is, it's almost meditative in terms of its like soothing capacity for me. So those are these daily questions, and I encourage you guys to take a look at that, and they've been really helpful. One of the reasons that I think, those things are helpful is that they help to bring like our soothing system online, all those things do. And my husband and I wrote this book, and it published over the summer, Freedom: How Teens Can Use Mindful Compassion to Thrive in a Chaotic World and Grow a Purpose-Driven Life. And like I said yesterday, this book isn't just for teens, it's for everybody, but, and we're definitely in a chaotic time, right? But in chapter 2, we talk about, the 3 circles of emotion. Oh, sorry. 3 circles of emotion. I am not good with this. Okay, there we go. Threat, drive, and soothe. So we have these 3 circles of emotion: threat, drive, and soothe. And there are these emotional systems that help us stay alive and keep us safe. And I'm just going to read a little section of this. All 3 of these systems have helped humans stay alive, and none of us would be here today if our ancestors didn't have them. Again, just like the old brain and new brain, no one was able to choose or design these emotional systems. These systems organize our brains and create the experiences we have in the world. So what does that mean when we say that these systems organize our brains and create the experiences we have? Have you noticed that when you're feeling different emotions such as happiness, anger, peacefulness, fear, or sadness, that you behave differently and respond differently to what is going on around you? It's almost as if a different version of you shows up depending on the emotions you are feeling. So when we're feeling in our threat system, it impacts our attention, how we use our imagination, our motivation, our thinking and reasoning, our behavior, and our emotions. And so when we can and that's all to keep us in a good place. That's there for a reason. But sometimes when the threat system gets too big and too much, it overrides things. So we need to bring our soothing system online. So that's these daily practices, these daily questions, these daily rituals can really help to be grounding and just kind of give you a little bit of a sense of calm. So then you can move and do the things you need to do. So threat system being soothed a little bit, then we're able to then take action. So soothe, then move. So I don't know if that's helpful or not, but to me, kind of knowing a little bit of the background there, knowing that threat system is there to keep you safe, but sometimes it gets too much. And so then you need to bring it down a little bit. So deep breathing, lots of different practices. And obviously this book is filled with practices. And actually, I recorded 25 of them or so audio on our book website, and they're all free there, free audio they're just guided practices. There's one on soothing rhythm breathing, which is really super helpful. So maybe check it out. That website is mindfulcompassionforteens.com. But of course, there's tons of resources for that kind of thing. But so I hope that this made you feel maybe a little bit soothed today. And just to let you know that I am here with you, and I am sending you a big hug, and I am going to just be here holding you in my heart. And I will see you again tomorrow. Have a good day.